the Stanley Cup playoffs. The first step of the most arduous trek to a championship. The beginning of hockey's postseason is a chance to write a new version of history. For some, it is the beginning of the journey to a legacy, one that will define a player, a coach, a team, a city. For the Colorado Avalanche, that recent legacy has been defined by failure. Failure is hockey's greatest teacher, and the Avs have been one of its most loyal students the last 2 years.
For the second year in a row, their season ends in Game 7 of the second round.
From those failures was born this year's Avalanche team, a battle-tested group on a mission. Gone were the platitudes about learning from youthful mistakes, the moral victories which all previous champions must first accumulate before they are truly prepared to climb sport's tallest mountain. From the outset, it has been a club with a singular focus, the Stanley Cup. This regular season, the most unusual of seasons, has given Avalanche fans plenty of memorable moments already. The dynamic talents on hand have at times caused jaws to drop, heads to shake, and even the greatest of opponents to simply say, "Oh boy." But most of all, this season has been a vehicle of hope. Hope that this team is different. Hope that the scars of the past will not be reopened. Hope that the Colorado Avalanche are finally ready to return to glory.
And after 22 years, Raymond Mark!
Welcome in to the DNVR Avalanche podcast, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Be sure to use code DNVR when you sign up for a new account over with them. I'm your host, Rudo, joined by Blais Hunter and Evan Rawal. AJ Haefele will be here shortly. Avs are officially undefeated in the 2021 playoffs, gentlemen.
Oh, boy.
This was a hockey game that was close on the scoreboard for 2 periods. Not so close on the underlyings, ever. We'll get into some nitpicks in a minute. Let's start with some positives. Avs dominated the Blues tonight. Not named Jordan Binnington, this game wasn't close.
Yeah, let's be honest here. Without Binnington in net there, that game is not even close. I mean, he made some unreal stops on some great chances by the Avalanche, and, you know, you got to give it to him. He played a great game. Maybe at the end there, maybe just skate off the ice, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, your goalie makes 46 saves and you still get beat down.
What?
Like,
How many losses in the history of the playoffs have a goaltender posting, what, a 9.38, was it?
9.38.
And he lost?
Yeah, unreal.
What? I mean, that's insane by itself. I agree with Blais. Blues were not the graciousest of losers at the end of that hockey game.
Well, it's old school hockey. I mean, they're a big hockey team, right? They want to send the message. They want to be physical. I think Landeskog might have answered that call right off the bat, though.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Let's start with the beginning of that play. Shen goes knee on knee with Mikko. It didn't look particularly intentional on a couple of rewatches.
no, it looked worse live.
Yeah.
than it
Yeah.
did. You saw the replay and it was just like, okay, well,
Well,
he didn't extend the knee or anything. It was just they collided. Mikko was in kind of obviously he's falling down like he has, as he usually is. But yeah, I mean, I had no problem with Landy going after it, and because the Avs were not playing particularly well to start the game, so that's the captain kind of reading the room and saying, okay, I can do something here to hype up my team here a little bit. And,
for sure.
And the fans, because he beat the crap out of them.
I mean, what?
Well, I think he broke his nose during that fight. It looks like Shen got one good little blow on him, and I think it knocked his nose. Like, if you looked on later in the game, they had a close-up on him. His nose wasn't doing good.
Yeah, I can't keep track of which way his nose is going these days.
I mean, knowing Landy a broken nose will just make him hotter, right? So,
somehow that will happen. Yeah.
Like it's just the gift of the gods there. Kind of a weird fight. Like Shen had to pull a swim move on a ref to even allow the fight to happen, but. They got there eventually,
yeah.
I guess.
I mean, the refs were in quite a bit of plays tonight, I would say.
Well, yeah, the Blues just kept hitting the linesmen.
Yeah, the puck was like they were using him as a pinball.
They're in the same spot they usually are always in, so should figure that out. And it happened many times throughout the night, but yeah, I don't know. That was I don't really know what else to say. It was. I think the shots were 4-0 Blues at one point, and then it was 18-5 Avs.
They shot them 18-1 after the first 4 shots. So when the Avs turned it on, look, outside of one significant mistake in the second period, you can't feel good about the way this game went for the St. Louis Blues.
No.
I mean, you're happy with Binnington, and that's about the end of the line. With the Avs, you're happy with a lot. Boy, would you like that much more out of Mikko Rantanen, though.
Oh, man. He was a little bit snake bit tonight. I'll put it that way. I mean, didn't look like he was too heavy on being on top of his skates either.
He was snake bit. Still had 2 assists.
Yeah.
I think what you want, obviously, a little bit more out of is that second line, if anything. But
True.
If that's wanting a little bit more out of Mikko Rantanen, then I think the Avs are fine.
Is MacKinnon healthy?
I don't think so.
He started off very slow tonight.
Look, MacKinnon scored 2 goals if you include the empty netter and had an assist tonight, but he was not particularly good in the first 2 periods of this hockey game. Like, he was kind of just floating around and not accomplishing much. And then, he's an MVP caliber player, so he gets the job done in the third period. But as we have the man, the myth, the legend,
change.
He's going 90.
What the fuck is up, Denny's?
Pretty sure he went 95 down Colfax at this
Bro, it
point.
took me forever to get here.
Yeah?
I got all the way, I got halfway, so you know how we have to go to the press. I got halfway down on the first floor, realized I'd forgot my hoodie.
Oh, no.
All the way back up. I was out of there because they scored the empty net goal, and I just
Dipped out. Yeah.
chomped everything closed and was like, let's go!
Oh, so you missed the ending then?
No, I saw the very end.
Oh, okay.
Went
yeah,
back
it
for
was-
his hoodie.
I got back up to the press box as Landy was doing his 3-star interview. And then I had to come all the way back down. And by that point, there were 1,000 people everywhere. And I was like, oh, can all you people get out of my way?
Yeah, it's a little different now. There's humans at the game in the crowd.
I tweeted about it, but there's no way that's 7,700 people or whatever.
Yeah.
It looks way fuller than that, and it sounds full.
Awesome.
Let's go.
The players got
I mean, I was feeding off the energy. I was like, oh my god, is this a contact high? Like, this adrenaline is crazy. So anyway,
Yeah.
What's up, dudes?
being in a rink with even just 40 whatever there was before this.
Yeah.
Going from 0 to that it was very noticeable, and I imagine it's going to be even more noticeable now.
Oh yeah. When they came out for warm-ups, I was like, this is very loud.
Did you all see
Start
Carolina's
fresh for the
game?
playoffs, fam. All right? Chill.
Yeah, the chat's freaking out.
I shaved too.
I didn't.
I didn't either.
Yesterday.
I just skipped it.
Slackers.
You know what? I wrote like a 2,600 word preview. That took me like 5 hours worth of statistical research to do. So I was like, all right, I'm not doing that too.
AJ, you just sat down. Last 30 seconds of the first period. Mikko, worst miss or worstest miss of the playoffs?
I've still not seen a replay. I've only seen it live.
Okay.
And from from our angle, you can't see shit from way back there. We're on the other side of the ring, so I still haven't seen how bad it is. I imagine in my brain it looks a lot like what Tuck did in Vegas.
Pretty much exactly like that.
And,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Great.
I think he was a little closer than Tuck was.
Real bad.
Grubauer-esque left pad lift to deny a sure goal from Mikko in the second period.
Yeah.
But
Great. That's a one. That's a 6 save. 2. He probably doesn't get a chance to even make that.
if
save.
it's on the forehand,
If
yeah.
if Kadri just puts a pass that's not in his skates,
Yep.
like just a basic. I mean, boy, the problems that Kadri had with the little overwhelming. So
Yeah.
You'll hear no argument here.
I don't know how far into the show you guys are.
Not
but
far at all.
Can I just say that the Shen family is like a really great hockey family, and I'm really, really proud that they have a new patriarch. because Landeskog just added a whole bunch of kids to his family. That whole family is now required to call him daddy.
Oh my goodness.
That was such an embarrassing attempt at a fight by Braden Shen, who does sneaky, dirty shit all the time. And then you saw it later in the game. He was like, oh, that's JT Compher. I'm going to go mess with that guy. And then during play goes after Landeskog. But, had his chance. Bro, that guy dropped the gloves with you. You had your chance. And you turtled. You got punched a bunch of times and then said, this sucks. I'm going to dive into his legs.
He did get one good shot on Landy. But otherwise, Landy controlled that fight.
He took a run at Landy late in that game.
Yeah.
And Landy just ducked. He's like, I know this guy's going high. I'm going low. And I think Shen went flying. But, yeah, the end of the game was the least. The Blues kind of gave up trying to play hockey. Anyone who watched the last 5 minutes of that game without knowing the score would have been like, okay, well, the Avs are trying to come back to score here. And
yeah, I tweeted out 5 minutes to go, and I thought that's about the time St. Louis will start to make their big push. I looked back up. The next stoppage of play was at 1:32 when they had the icing and they pulled Binnington, and I was like, well, they got no shots on goal in that time, and the Avs had 3 scoring chances. Yep. So I think this one's probably done. And then when they got set up with the extra man, they didn't do anything with it.
Oh yeah, Landy taking the puck off Shen's stick at the end, and then the diving play just adds more to it.
That was a, I don't know. That's the Landy goes quiet every once in a while, and people are like, he's overrated. But you see a game like tonight, and it's like, this is why there are 31 other NHL teams out there who are like, please screw up your free agent negotiations with this guy and give us a shot at him. There are 31 teams that would straight choke a bitch to try and get that
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So
guy. The Blues might start with Braden Shen. He's number one bitch in that organization tonight. They have to be embarrassed by what he did.
So, would you say that when Landy fought Shen, that it was a whole new balls game? Manscaped.com. You can now get the Manscaped Lawnmower 4.0. Look at this. I can shave live on the show right now. Not bad. I'm saying. It works anywhere. On the go.
Do you know where that thing's been?
Yeah. On my balls.
All right.
You can really shave anywhere with this thing. I know we always have the meme on the show of trim your balls and such, but it works on your beard, it works on your chest, it works all over your body. It can take care of any hair that you want to be away from yourself. Get it now. I don't know. Take care of it. Manscaped, you get 20% off when you use code DNVR. You get the whole perfect package. 4.0 now, I suppose. You can get a bunch of awesome stuff, including this Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer. So, yeah, jump on over there. Go get it. It's great stuff. I can't recommend it enough. I legitimately, you want to know how I shave for the playoffs? I use this. It's that easy. It takes 30 seconds. No more, having to take 8 years of shaving with a straight razor to, shave my entire beard. Which, P.S., don't recommend. Don't do that if you have a full beard. I don't recommend it. Manscaped will take care of you. So jump on it, get to manscaped.com, help support our partners because that's supporting us. Also brought to you by Breckenridge Brewing, the official beer of DNVR. 8 different kinds on tap. I got a DNVR Breckenridge Avalanche right here. Highly recommend. My favorite beer, personally, because I'm a simple man and I like simple beers.
It's a good classic beer that's kept them in business for 30 years.
Straight up.
It's that good of a beer.
If you like something fancy, you can go with the Hot Peak IPA. You can get the Strawberry Sky. They got something for everybody, honestly. Really. Great stuff. Use the Breck Beer Locator online to find it in a local liquor store near you. Also, I've seen 1,000 of you like our hype video, all right? We hit 1K likes. I know all y'all ain't a member here at DNVR. I know some of you ain't signed up. So now's the time. Go get your annual membership. check out the awesome content. Like I said, AJ did an amazing preview of the playoffs earlier today, or last night, I suppose. But
It was thorough.
it was good. Read it. If you're a member and you haven't read it, what are you doing? Go read it right now. If you're not a member, what are you doing? Become a member.
I would just like to say, one game into that preview, feeling good about it. Feeling good about it, given that my X Factors were Devon Taves, Robert Thomas, and Jordan Kyrou, and I highlighted the MacKinnon-O'Reilly matchup. And
Not
said
bad.
that Binnington had been really good and that if he is that way, he will keep them in the series.
Yeah.
So,
he was their best player.
So one game in, I'm like,
oh, here we go. All right, let's do this.
is this like a cup of ranch?
Cup of sauce.
What are we, Rockies fans?
That was a funny one. I'm not gonna drop it.
Oh, well, I didn't know what you were trying to do here.
Do you have a
Apple
shot?
juice?
I do. It's very good.
What is this?
You guys-
I see.
I don't know what it is. What is it?
Yeah.
Teriyaki sauce.
It's mystery. It's mystery shot.
It is the winner's shot that was given at the DNVR bar.
What does that mean?
It is like a sex on the beach. That's what I was calling.
I don't know what that is, but all right.
All right, well, let's do it.
Dr.
sounds-
Dubs
sounds like
is
a message.
officially
Hold on.
in the playoffs.
Hold on.
She wants.
Allie's got to get in on it. All right.
Hold on.
Hang on. Podcast mom has got to get set up.
That's right.
There we go.
Cheers.
Cheers, chat.
Not-
Let's
we're not
go.
doing all of that.
Tink, tink. That's like
All right.
sunscreen.
Well, that was delicious.
Sunscreen?
That is not like sunscreen.
First of all,
100% it is.
I
why do
think
you
you
know what
guys-
sunscreen tastes like? Second of all,
I was a weird child.
I believe.
I think you guys just don't like any sort of alcohol.
I thought
You
that was
think
delicious.
That tastes bad. Yes.
Yeah,
I'm
no, that was
happy.
fine. I have no problem
Can I
with that.
can I get more of that? Can
I
we
didn't
just
say that sunscreen tasted bad. I just said it tasted like sunscreen.
That's, oh my god, that's so much. That's so much better than Listerine that we
What?
normally drink.
I don't know
Oh,
if I
get out of
agree
here
with
with
that,
that. Get out of here with that.
I mean, that's more fun to drink because there's like purpose behind it.
True.
but that was delicious.
Real quick, so I see a few people talking about the stream having issues. I just asked people downstairs, their stream's okay. Over on my end, it looks okay. So definitely write in the chat if something goes wrong or doesn't look good, and I'll try and look into it. But I think we're good now, and we have a lot of super chats.
Yeah, let's get to some super chats here to start period 2.
Super chat. Okay.
Holy,
That is a lot of super chats.
I
all of a sudden the
told
chat
you.
is bright blue.
Okay, hold on. I gotta make it fit the screen.
I
How's
can't
everyone's
read that.
It's okay. Cody says I'm uncomfortable with Evan sitting on the couch. Can he sit on the floor,
It's
please?
a chair. It's not a couch.
true.
True.
It's very true.
Chris said nothing but Dr. Dubs in the house tonight.
Yeah.
Let's go, doctor.
Vaguely sober said, "Sir, this is a Wendy's." Joseph said, "Hit that like button for win 1 out of 16."
Do that.
Yep.
Like, subscribe. YouTube is cool.
Do it all. Tyler said, "Take a shot every time Miko breaks his stick."
I don't have the liver for that.
Trevor said, "This is strictly for the pod intro today. Played it again before the game started, and we'll play it 15 more times." Yeah, we'll probably play it a
Yeah.
lot more too.
Shout out Aaron, our editor. The dude is incredible.
Yeah.
He made that so cool.
Yeah,
That was
so-
a great video.
someone asked, "Did we hire someone new?" We hired Aaron back in March. But he's been working on a few other projects. Like, he's done some of the series breakdowns that AJ and Rudolph done.
He did all of our trade deadline.
He also did the
videos.
Rockies video, which was awesome.
Yeah, so we're
Oh,
having
man,
him work
that thing
on a
was
few
so
more
good.
things.
Yeah.
That countdown was also Aaron. He's been kicking ass. Okay. Keegan said 1 down, 15 to go. Going to watch the Stanley Cup video you guys made 100 more times.
Yes, let's go.
Anime as leaders said, "What the F is up, Denny's?" Woken Click said, "Y'all seriously leveled up your production game with that intro, the new post-game graphics, and this hype video. Nice work." Thank
True.
you.
Yep.
Josh said, "Pledging $10 for every playoff win. Let's go, Avs."
Let's
Thank
go.
you.
Yeah,
Whoa.
Very generous.
Sasha said 1 down. JNet23 said, "Was at game 82. This game reminded me of that Suck It O'Reilly."
This was
And then we've
more dominant.
Yeah.
Jacob said, what was the speed on that Mac empty net goal? It was a rocket.
That was aggressive.
He scored on
That
the
was
empty net.
aggressive.
That was an empty net Avs goal.
Yep.
Nice.
Very rare.
True.
It happened. You're talking about 1 for 1.
They're 1 for 1 in the playoffs. It's true.
1 for 1, bro.
Oro said, more victory shots. I can get them another one.
I'm okay.
He donated 15 too. That's like a real donation.
Yeah.
Chris said that reverse hit by MacKinnon on, how do I say his name?
Tarasenko.
Tarasenko. Though,
Hilarious.
just like Forsberg would do back
The one behind the net.
That wasn't even
Where
like
it
a
was
reverse hit. He was just like, forget
Yeah.
the puck. I'm
Yeah.
murdering this man.
Where he had like gone all the way up the ice around and then like dipped around the net and then got the puck back. And Tarasenko was like, I'm going to get it. And then MacKinnon was like, yes, you are. It's not what you thought was going to happen, but yes, you're going to get it.
What was
And Tarasenko was like, oh, yeah, this is why I faked a shoulder injury for 2 years.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, what was he hurt with? Because he did not look like he was feeling good after that hit.
Vladimir Tarasenko had a breakaway in this hockey game, and it was the least dangerous thing I've ever seen.
someone, I don't even want to
Well, he
bring
fluffed
up
the
your
shot.
chat.
Yeah,
filter.
yeah, just total whiff.
Why are we not putting the crown on Rudo's area for these ad reads? Because we're not doing that ever. And then last super chat for now,
Like,
real
because
quick.
we're not doing that ever is a good answer.
Ryan O'Reilly looks like he's having a lot of fun.
Well, you know, you can't have your love for the game all the time.
Yeah.
It comes and goes. I do want to get into the actual goals here, though. We haven't even gotten to the first one. Cale Makar snipes one on the power play. The Avs win the special teams battle tonight. That was the key I think AJ touched on a little bit when we were talking about this series. Watching Cale Makar's fun. I don't know
my
how else
goodness.
to put it.
That little move, the little shimmy that he made where
Yeah.
he was going to go back to MacKinnon. I don't know which forward it was, but that
Bozak.
he bit hard.
He got O'Reilly again later and then hit Landy with
Was
a
that the
shot.
one where he totally undressed the guy, but then he cut back into it after he had already undressed him?
Yeah, that was later. in
That
the
was,
game.
was that later? Okay.
Yeah, the first goal, he gets him to commit to MacKinnon, and then just steps into that space and
Yeah.
was like, "Thanks,
Later,
dude.
nerd.
Fire away.
Don't mind if I do make you look bad on this." And Binnington didn't see that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
never.
You could tell on his reaction that he was like, "I'm taking up space. Oh, it's by me."
And that was a shot across the goal too.
Yeah,
That was a great shot.
yeah, it was a great shot.
Keep on rolling here. The Avs end up giving up a goal to Kyrou in the second.
Starts with a nice play, boy Bortuzzo on the boards to move it up, and then Thomas intercepts it.
Yep.
And then the controversy: does Jordan Kyrou hold Nazem Kadri or not?
Oh, he 100% held him.
Was it penalty worthy of holding? Because I thought the answer was no.
I mean,
I thought it was soft.
what?
Yeah, it's
It's one of those things like where if they didn't score, you'd probably be like, oh, whatever.
I mean, that's the. Does Kadri get back if he's not upset about the no call?
he tried to sell it a little bit.
I mean, I think he got held,
Yeah.
but to what extent, you know? And this is why we talk about Kadri's reputation, is because he's
Anything borderline, he's not getting.
He's
yeah.
a little dramatic at times,
for sure. No argument.
and I think it really hurt him. I think it hurt him on that one.
So wait, is Kadri getting a game suspension for the hold?
Dude.
The bigger problem is that play started with Kadri having the puck and trying to toe drag around somebody. And he got the puck taken off his stick, and that's what led to the odd rush the other way.
Well, and his issues were pretty thorough throughout. You know, they had a 4-on-2, 4-on-3, and he had the puck the entire time. And that rush ended with him shooting. No pass attempt, no anything. Like, he was just like, great, you guys opened up shooting lanes for me. Thanks, fellas. You know, like it was the same kind of thing that we saw at the end of the year when he was playing like shit. Very selfish, very ineffective. Not at all like what we saw in the last handful of games, where he started to look like himself. You know, he was playing with great energy. He was really contributing a lot in those last couple of games, and then postseason started, and it was like, oh, April Kadri's back, and he was terrible.
I mean,
that Kyrou goal, the one thing that really stood out to me about that goal, the only guy that was excited about it was Jordan Kyrou. Like, you watch that celebration, and he's like amped up. He's like, let's go. And all of his teammates like huddle around him and are like, good job. Good job. Way to go, bud.
I mean,
and it was like, what is this?
Shots were what, 30-12 at that point?
Yeah, there's even more reason for them to be amped up. Like, you don't belong in this game, and now you're tied. And the only guy who seemed to appreciate that was Kyrou. Like, I just thought, I'm not like the world's biggest like body language expert or anything. It's not usually something I buy too heavily into, but I thought it was kind of telling that they just
weren't in it, feeling it.
They weren't that into it. They were just, okay.
I mean, let's be honest. They were never that into it. If your name isn't Jordan Binnington,
yeah,
the Blues were never that into this game.
Yeah, Grubauer made one great save in those first 4 shots on goal.
Yep. And that was it.
That was really the end of that push.
So, Avs, despite not getting a goal in the second period, which is generally their strongest period, look, they come out in the third period and they immediately get one from Nathan MacKinnon, which MacKinnon finished it. Evan pointed it out live. Ridiculously hard work from Landeskog.
Yeah.
To do all the work along the boards and into the corner on that play. And then Mikko does Mikko stuff behind the net.
Evan actually pointed it out before it happened. It was a little creepy.
As Mikko was passing to MacKinnon, Evan's like, look at Landy do all that work.
Yeah, he's like, there's a goal coming, and then all of a
started
sudden
in
they
the
scored.
D zone because he broke up the play in the defensive zone and broke it out to Rantanen, and then that's what he does on that line. Like, he just makes the plays, smart plays defensively, and then it's just little plays there. Like, he's holding off Parayko, who is a much bigger man than him, and then Shen tries to come in, and he says, okay, I'm just going to cycle it. So he draws guys to him, and then there was 4 Blues players there, but nobody was actually covering anyone. So, you know, the one guy you want to cover in the slot is Nathan MacKinnon.
True. No argument there, and that
it's interesting because you would think like the Blues score their 1 goal in transition, and the Avs get the game winner off of a cycle that starts in the D zone. Like, identity-wise, you would flip those.
Very reverse for sure. Yeah,
and I think that Colorado's ability to do that's what makes them so dangerous. They, 2 years ago against Nashville, it was they're going to score in transition only. They didn't have the guys to cycle you to death. They didn't have the guys to wear you down. And tonight, that's where most of their offense was generated. They had rush chances, but they cycled the St. Louis Blues to pieces.
Yeah. I don't... Look, I'm trying to pull negatives out of this game for the Avs, and they are few and far between. Mikko, you want more out of, sure, but he still ended up the night with 2 assists.
Yeah.
And the only one that I can consistently think of that was butt clench territory for the DNVR bar was the Nemeth-Graves pairing.
Yeah, and when those guys were out there separately with other players,
it was fine.
They were both fine. Yeah. It was when they were out there together where you're like, oh Jesus.
Yeah,
it was a frustration.
And I would say Timmins he wasn't near that territory, but he had a couple, like right before Graves took the tripping penalty, he turned it over. And then he had one pass up the middle too. But the top 3 was so good that they kind of worked past that. But it's really like you said, those 2 separate are fine, but when they're together, somebody has to play the puck.
Yeah.
And
they're a great example of why teams have shitty third pairings because these are the guys they can find. They can find big, tall dudes with limited puck skills.
And right before Graves, right before his play where he gave it up and came back to make the
saves
play,
a goal.
Nemeth gives him just like the most ridiculous D-to-D pass. It's just like a launched backhand pass that's just like bouncing towards him. It's just like
there was a lot of
self-inflicted wounds here.
Yeah, there was a lot of just shooting the puck up the boards. in the defensive
fine,
zone
like-
from their pairing.
You know, they had they actually were on the ice together late in the third. The icing that pulled Binnington, and both of them did exactly what they were supposed to. And it was Comfer who was one step inside the red line at center ice who had the tip, and that was the ice, and it was like, bro, take the extra step, get to the center line, because it started. Nemeth reversed it all the way to Graves. Graves got it up and out. Everything was clean, and then JT tips it, and he's too far inside that. I was like, dude, you guys finally got a clean exit out of that pairing. And you iced it and gave them a free goaltender, Paul. I was like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I will say I did like Nemeth was playing physical. That's obviously why they brought him in here. He was at least in front of the net. He was giving the Ryan O'Reilly the business. At the end
Ryan
of the game
O'Reilly's
in front
got
of the net.
he's got like a Patrick Nemeth tattoo in the middle of his back at this point.
I mean, you never want to read too much off of the regular season, right? But 6 out of 8 games, Ryan O'Reilly held scoreless. He does nothing tonight.
Yeah.
Took a penalty that I don't think was on him.
Oh, yeah, it didn't matter.
Yeah, the Avs take advantage. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, you wonder what's different if he's out there and, you know,
for sure.
if Kyle Clifford was in the box like he should have been. But, I mean, they both had a stick in there, so it was like, whatever. We had one replay that they showed up in the press box where it pretty clearly looked like Clifford's stick that got it, but I was like, whatever. Pick the high profile guy. That's fine. It worked out.
To everyone who's asking the producer to do
But
things,
on their PK, it was really interesting to watch Nemeth just shadow Mike Hoffman.
Yep.
Like Hoffman he picked up on it. He sees Nemeth is doing this because they pass it over to him, and he tries to one-time it, and Nemeth blocks it, and Nemeth is like in his kitchen, and he blocks it, and okay, they retrieve it. They pass it back over to him, and Nemeth is like right there again, and so Hoffman started drifting backwards, trying to draw Nemeth out, and like he's got like the invisible line in the sand where
That
he's
he
not
won't cross.
He's like, okay, I'm not going that far out, but I'm very clearly like, you know, like it was very obvious that they were like, their whole power play is built around Mike Hoffman one-timer with no David Perron. Without that dude out there, they're like, Mike Hoffman one-timer, baby, let's do this. And Nemeth was just shadowing him. That was it. And I was like, this is going to be interesting. They play their hand, game 1. They play the tactical hand. Okay, Nemeth is going to kind of spy on Mike Hoffman. All right, how do they adjust in game 2? You know, they'll probably get more than a power play or two. I mean, at some point, we're going to have a 10 power play game. Like, it's coming, right? So it's going to be really interesting tactically to see what the Blues try and do to either move Hoffman around or just play into it and be like, okay, well, we'll take our chances.
I love the idea of Patrick Nemeth as a spy. It's like the least stealthy spy. Just a 6'5" guy who doesn't move very well.
Yeah, well, I mean, as a
Following
big
you
James
around.
Bond fan, you'll probably take that differently.
He's no Connery.
So, before we go to our second period break here, my question is for St. Louis. You're not going to get any better than that out of Jordan Binnington.
Yeah.
What is your hope for the future of this series if you're St. Louis?
You don't give up 50 shots on goal. You get Vince Dunn and David Perron back for game 4 or something, and you hope that you're not down 3-0 at that point. I mean, realistically, I think the hope is that St. Louis gets a little bit more of their style of game somewhere in there. I think the problem is that Colorado just did whatever they wanted tonight.
Well, they definitely run and gunned him all night.
Yeah, I mean, they wanted to play a heavy game. They wanted to bully Colorado. And Landeskog took the first opportunity to send the message of, like, that's not happening in this series.
Yeah, for everyone that said that Colorado was soft, that just showed him up right there.
Yeah, well, I mean, he tries to beat the stupid out of Braden Shen,
Yeah.
which, as we saw later in the game,
It didn't work.
need a few more beatings there, Landy. Gotta try that one again. But they really just were not getting pushed around at all. They weren't taking any guff. I mean, I don't know what they showed on TV at the end of the game with the scrum in front of the net.
Most of it, yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, they, like, not to sound like the little brother that I am, but they started it. And Grubauer was like, I got this. And I don't even have any idea which Avs player was there with him that was
Nemeth.
like, okay. Because he was like, Gruby, get out of here. Gruby, get out of here. And Gruby was like, no. Well, I'm gonna jam my blocker up this guy's ass. Like, I'm over this. They've been in my crease all night, and now the buzzer has sounded, and there are no consequences to this. And they just didn't take any shit.
Yep.
There's like a huge melee going on in the corner, and they just didn't take any. There was no taking of shit from St. Louis tonight.
The Blues, I feel like they did try to come out, and they kind of dictated the first, I would say, 5-7 minutes or so. But the rest of the game, the Avs just were like, okay, well, this isn't how we play. We're just gonna play our way. And even when the Blues were trying to jam it down their throats, they're like, we're not gonna fall for this. Like, this is how we play. Like, the third goal, which we haven't even gotten to, it's Taves leading the rush. They have a one-goal lead, and he dumps it in, and he's just chasing it. Like, that's just how they're gonna play.
Yep.
I don't know if teams just are not ready for this, that teams like the Avs are just never going to stop pushing.
I say this with the knowledge that 100% of the Blues players and probably like their equipment manager could beat the shit out of me. The Blues are kind of playing like bitches tonight.
Yeah.
Especially at the end of the game. Like, it to AJ's point, it's a lot like the little brother that like tries to fight the big bro, then can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Like,
but that's also their MO, right? Like, the Blues are supposed to be that heavy hitting, like, take them into the corners, beat the living shit out of the other team, and they couldn't oppose that tonight. The Avs,
they can't play the Avs style.
yeah, and that's what I mean. Is like they were trying to put their will on the Avs, and the Avs are, like you said, they just weren't having it. They played their game, and that's going to happen all series.
Yeah.
yeah,
They're going to run them out of the building.
This game actually reminded me a little bit of Nashville, Colorado Game 1 3 years ago.
In some ways, yeah.
Because it was like one team, really high expectations, great regular season. The other team sort of slips into the postseason at the end, you know. And then it's like it's a one-sided affair, but the scoreboard is close. And then the other team just pulls away in the third period. Like, it was funny that Colorado won periods 1 and 3, and St. Louis won the second period.
Yeah,
because it's usually, like, where St. Louis was good. They were really good in firsts, and they were really good in thirds. When they were, you know, in, like, their good period of the season, where they went 11-7-3.
I was gonna do the look at me, I'm the captain now. To everyone asking for Allie.
Allie, you put on some muscle over there. We can take our second period break there, as we are brought to you by Strava Craft Coffee, the CBD-infused coffee that can help with migraines, aches and pains, IBS, joint pain, all sorts of stuff. It is awesome. Highly recommend it. You can get it cold brew down here at the DNVR bar, or get 25% off when you use code DNVR25 at checkout online. Check them out today. They're super awesome. We love them over here. Also brought to you by the Haefele Cattle Company. Had their Wagyu beef burger down at the bar tonight. It was absolutely delicious. Unlike some people on this pod, I love pickles on it. Can't recommend it enough, but their burger is awesome. If you haven't had it yet, their Wagyu burgers, just mwah, I can't recommend it enough. You can get it online at HaefeleCattleCompany.com. Get 10% off when you use code DNVR. And if you want to get all your friends together, everybody get a little bit of beef, you can get free shipping for a $200 or more order. So, look, I like meat. I don't know what else to tell y'all. And Haefele makes really good meat. So, Jump on over there, get yourself some beef. Also brought to you beautiful people by DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 rated sportsbook app out there. They're doing the Hammer the Over promotion. They're bringing it back for the NBA playoffs for a featured game. They will be doing the Hammer the Over, and it is giving away free money. It starts out with the standard over. For every 1,500 people who take the over, they lower the over by a point. Last time they did this, the over hit 0. So, literally, if the game gets played, you have reached the over. Congratulations. You've won money. Jump on it right now. DNVR does this at least like once a month with us, and I don't know how to sell it more than they've already made it because they're literally giving you free money. Yep. Like, I can't explain it beyond that. They just want to give you some money. So go over there, sign up today with code DNVR to get the Hammer the Over boost with DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older, Colorado only. Other terms, restrictions, and conditions apply. Max bet $25. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700.
I want to give a shout out to this Paul Kelly here in the comments. He's like just discovering DNVR tonight. He's like, there's a DNVR bar. Who are these guys?
Hi, Paul.
What are their names? So, Paul, welcome to the family. Now that you're here, you can't leave. It's like Hotel California.
That's the rules. The DNVR bar was popping tonight for the game. Third period was pretty tight.
It was awesome.
The only time you're allowed to leave is when we ascend as one.
Oh, after you drink the Kool-Aid.
Oh, boy. I'm sticking with Return to Glory. Sorry,
Good
fam.
Lord. It was like plastered all over the arena, and I was like, this is so awkward.
You on Hail Bop yet, or what?
Yeah, right. Giant Colt Farm. Where are the beds in the arena? This is so weird.
Thank you very much for the super chats. I saw a couple in there during the second period. Let's get into the third period here of both the podcast and the game. Wow, that's giant.
I don't know why it's so big.
That's all over the screen.
Wow.
I'm not qualified for this job. Someone help me.
Arcade needs an adult.
Where did Allie go?
Victor getting his airtime there.
Yeah, I don't know. Victor, here you go. Here's your giant.
Third goal for the Avalanche in this hockey game. Gabe Landeskog. Good tip.
Great
tip.
He's the guy that drops a 40% tip on the bar at the bar
True.
to take care of the bartender / waitress.
Yeah.
Elite tip.
Elite tip. You love to see it.
He's got 2 kids, so he's got a great tip.
You would know, Blais?
I mean, I got 4, so.
Where does that put your tip? Never mind. I don't want to know.
Let's not talk about that.
The Avs, it felt like there was a breakthrough in the third period, right? They had been playing great offensively through the first 2 periods, and look, it's 1-1 after 2. This game could have easily gone either way. You could have seen a lapse from the Avs and things go downhill, but instead they'd kept it up and the puck went in.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, look.
I mean, they came out in the third, and I mean, they just set the tone right away.
The vibe at the second intermission was not super confident at the bar.
No.
I'll tell you that.
No. Nervous energy is how I would put it down there.
Yeah. I don't know. I felt pretty good. I felt like everybody was freaking out about how poorly they were playing, and it was like,
they weren't playing poorly, that's for sure.
Yeah.
guys, if they were on the other side of this, you'd really be freaking out.
I wouldn't say poorly. I think it was you're going up against a hot goaltender in Binnington where he's just he's stopping pucks that he shouldn't be stopping.
Binnington made like a couple of really, really, really like elite saves, great saves. For the most part, though, you go through that highlight reel, it's a lot of pucks that he's just swallowing up. They hit him right in the chest.
Yeah,
True.
And it's like, look, like good positioning. That's what goaltending is. It's good. He played very, very, very well. The Avs made his life a touch easier than it probably needed to be.
Yeah.
I mean, there were some insane saves. Like, I'm
Sure.
really not trying to diminish the night Binnington had. He's the only reason that this game was not 8-1. You know, it was very Mike Smith against Calgary 2 years ago. You know, like, this is the only it's a 4-1 final, and you're like,
this could have been 8-1. Yeah.
It felt like 2-1 because it was such a grind for a while.
Yeah.
But oh, jeez. I mean, they really they made his life a little easier than it just needed to be a lot of times. The top line, what happened? They scored 2 goals. What happens on both of those goals? They quit with the cute shit.
Yep.
They get to work. They find a guy that's open. They put the puck on net. They take his eyes away. It's a great tip. Great. Done. It's a great shot from MacKinnon. It's a great tip from Landeskog. Like it. This is how you win in the postseason. Your best guys, they drive the bus. That's why losing David Perron was so big for the Blues. They have almost no bus drivers over there.
The big difference in the third period was that Nathan MacKinnon woke up. Like you guys saying you don't think he looks healthy? Watching him at morning skate this morning, he was fine. He was flying around, and I thought he had moments tonight where he was flying around. But we also have to keep in mind he missed 4 of the last 5 games. There's
He's
probably
played
a
one
little
game
bit of
in
rust.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
So third period, he seemed like he woke up and he was moving just fine.
There's just some things like, when he goes into the corner, you see a lot of juke moves where he's like moving guys out of the way, and then he always comes out of the corner. Tonight, it just, at the beginning of the game, it definitely didn't look like it was there.
Yeah.
There was a lot of coasting from him in the first 2 periods.
So for me, the funny thing is that people always are like, he's hurt. Like, somebody tonight was like, there's no way Rantanen's not playing hurt. And it's like the default.
I don't know about that for Rantanen.
Yeah, well, this is what I'm saying, though. It's like the thing that you lean on. You get X number of games into the season. Like, you're not going to do it in Game 8 because the season just started. And you're like, that guy's not hurt. He's fine. But after 56 games, and the stretch that they had and blah, it's like the default thing that people will whine about. Like, oh, this guy's hurt. Like, I think with MacKinnon, the third period, look, he was rusty.
Yeah.
It took him a minute to knock off the rust, but that dude went into, I don't know what the numbers finished at.
Me either.
But that dude went into the third period getting rocked by O'Reilly, and halfway through the third period had come all the way back. It was head-to-head against O'Reilly. It was like 3 shots for and 12 against.
The thing is, in general, I agree with your take, but with MacKinnon, you have evidence that they actively sat him because he was not healthy 3 or 4 days ago. So I think there's a case with MacKinnon might not be 100%. With that being said, he had 3 points tonight, so who cares?
Who cares?
Yeah, I went on the Bets show this afternoon and was like, oh, just low-key, watch out for a slow start for MacKinnon. In the first 2 periods, I was like, oh, my God, I'm a genius. Kyrou scored. Robert Thomas. Devon Taves has looked amazing. This is a great goaltending battle. Nathan MacKinnon's off to a slow start.
And then he goes off.
Now I'm back to being a moron.
AJ got to ruin my show today, so now I get to ruin you. I'm handing the controls back. All right? Order has been restored.
All right, chat, get in line. We'll take no guff now. Finishing things up with the actual in-game content. Nathan MacKinnon with the empty netter at the end.
Should have been Landy's.
Yeah,
it was all him.
He made the play.
Yeah, it was all him. That he just skated out and picked it up and then slammed the thing home. It was like, jeez, fella.
He lifted it and everything into the top half of the net.
That was not this is just gonna ease this into the net. He was like,
I love it.
Well, and you want to know what's up with that, right? Mentally, emotionally, this is a finishing touch on an epic ass kicking we're about to lay on you guys?
It's Nathan MacKinnon, right? Last season, he scored an empty netter from the red line that he went bar down on.
Yeah, he was shooting for that, though. That was a thing that happens. He was shooting for that. He skated this thing all the way in and then fired a missile and was for me, I was kind of I feel like he's sending a message here that, this is just getting started.
Yeah.
That this level of shit kicking, I think in his mind, he was like, that was the first period of the series.
And after the O'Reilly comments, I'm sure, like that's something that's talked about in the locker rooms. I mean,
it was interesting because when Devon Taves got asked about it, he was like, "Oh, yeah, we had no idea." He was like, "We don't."
I don't think about you at all.
It was straight up and like
that's bullshit.
It was very much like, "Oh, we didn't, we're worried about what we're doing over here. We don't have any time for that." And it's the first time that I actually think that this Avs team is just. We've said it all year that they are abnormally focused on what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like they are a team that has one thing that they think about, and it's like, okay, win. Just find a way to win. Do what you got to do. Shift to shift, whatever. Not playing well, getting your ass kicked, whatever. Just find a way to win. And I would not be surprised if they either did not hear the comments before somebody mentioned them, and then after he left, he was probably like, apparently O'Reilly's talking shit, and they were all like having a good laugh about it, right?
So,
like, insert all the Michael Jordan memes here.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's like posted up there. And
are you telling me that the Colorado Avalanche are T-Pain?
Sure.
Because all they do is win?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking.
I thought I was the old guy on the podcast. It's right there.
T-Pain's not that old.
Excuse me, I'm over here. Yeah.
A few things.
Yeah.
Someone said we all look like we're from Portland, and I kind of take that as an insult.
None of us were from Portland.
We all look like we're from Portland?
Yeah.
Like,
and
how so?
That's kind
What
of
does that even
insulting.
Yeah,
Also,
see us in 3 weeks. And
I
maybe
need
we can
to.
revisit
Yeah,
that.
I need to get
No.
a little bit more explanation behind that.
This is day one, fella.
no offense to anyone who lives in Portland or who's
Oh,
actually from
offense.
Portland. But,
Offense meant.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Josh said, Evan, as a super chat, can we get a sneak peek at Graves' grade?
It's probably going to be pretty middle of the road. A lot of good and a lot of bad.
Now
Just
give
go-
us Nemitz
Just go
grade.
B,
yeah.
B, C, D, B.
I can.
He's a great actor because he was arguing his case on both penalties that were pretty clear penalties to me.
the delay game, so the angle that we sit on the delay game, I was like, it happened, and I was like, that is such a bad delay game. And they're like meeting about it, and I'm like, you're kidding me.
We had that same reaction too. We're like, I'm pretty sure no one was around him, and he just shot it
Yeah.
out, and he's like,
He was like, there was a guy within 3 feet of me. He could have hit it with it. He clearly went off of his stick. You think I would have done that? No way I would have done that. And the tripping, I could see where he was frustrated because he was very obviously going for the puck.
Sure.
And then on the replay, you see the part where he kicks out his
I mean-
foot and like smokes him, and you're like,
meanwhile, in the neutral zone, Brandon Saad eats shit, loses the puck, and trips the guy with his entire body. It's fine, but
I mean, Braden Shen kneed Nico
true.
Rand. He goes knee on. Tyson Jost slew foot a man behind the net tonight. And, like, it was like a video game slew foot.
Yeah.
He, like, kicked out with the foot and, like, pulled him down and, like, took the puck and carried on. And I was like, they're cool with this? Like, okay.
no whistle, no penalty.
Yeah,
Keep going.
and like he didn't. There was no reaction from him. It wasn't like he slowed up expecting a penalty. He just very like on the slide was like slew foot that guy, took the puck. All right, we're good, boys. Let's go. Let's get out of here.
Chad, the only thing I know about the Portland area is the Everett
Yeah.
Tweakers YouTube, to be honest.
I went to Portland and everyone was really mean, so
Wow.
that's why I took it insulting. It is a nice city. It was fun when I went, but everyone was really
Oh, by the way, I love Portland.
passive
I've been there once. It was
aggressive
pretty
and
nice.
mean,
Yeah.
and I was like, whoa. And
What's
then
going on here? Why are we
obviously-
talking about Portland?
Obviously, the Nuggets played
'Cause you're
the
from there, apparently.
Trailblazers,
True. You have to hate Portland because
and
of that.
Yeah, Nuggets.
you
Blazers
learned a little
is getting
bit.
ready.
Yeah, and
Oh,
now they're
that's
gonna
true.
play them again. So
Yeah.
Like let's. All I can think about is that picture that Spano tweeted, and that's just like my forever image of Portland is the dude like caressing his girlfriend at the end of that game.
someone
that they
said I'm
lost.
backpedaling. I'm not. But when I went to Portland, people were mean, and so then they said
Dude,
we
I-
look like people from
I
Portland.
can't
I'm
wait
not
for our
mean.
second city for this company to be Portland now.
Somebody in there said Portland, Maine. Portland, Maine is
That's way different. Different
way
Portland.
nice. I almost
yeah.
played junior hockey there. That place is nice, right on the beach. Oh yeah, let's go there.
Oh, sure. All right.
So
So
somebody just moved from Portland, Maine to Texas.
that's
and I
got to
was
be
like-
culture shock.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. I was like, Girl, you are in for a treat.
So Jason here wants to know what you guys thought of Sam Bennett hit.
He got the game he deserved, at least.
pretty bad.
We talked about this a little bit this morning. I guess this afternoon.
Yeah.
That was 10 hours ago. Yeah, it was well earned.
Brett here said, as an Avs fan, I don't know how I just found out about you guys today. Well,
Welcome.
welcome.
Welcome to the channel, the fam. We out here.
Yeah.
Do we have any super chats? Do we want that we need to get to? I don't know. I haven't been following.
We had Victor say all goals scored on the same net. Sad it was on the absolute opposite side of the ice for me.
Victor got his time in the sun from the other producer, I
Oh,
think.
right,
Yeah.
when he made it full screen.
Yeah.
It was a super chat. Yes, I think we've hit all of the super
All right.
chats.
Good.
right now.
Good news.
Torrey Krug is bad. Like, he looks really bad out there. How long is that
Dude,
contract?
I'm sorry, but Torrey Krug got bullied by Tyson Jost. Like, in a post-whistle scrum. And, like, I've been a big Tyson Jost fan for a long time. It's not really what he does.
Oh.
So if you're going to be the guy that gets bullied by the guy who doesn't bully people... But I thought that all the years in Boston would have trained him to be
Made him
like,
a little tough, yeah.
and instead it was very he very much like shrank in that confrontation where I was like, Tyson Jost looks like the big man here.
For
The
the
dater,
people.
the Spano tweet is up.
It's so good. Those two look like they're from Portland.
The my first game pin is just
Yeah. What a Portland thing to do to give that out too.
Oh, it won't let me show it
You know
anymore. It
those
showed
are
it
meant
like a
for
second.
children.
Denied.
Right? Like,
Weird.
Screenshot it.
Get the other producer back in here.
Special
Wow.
teams unit letting us down tonight. Wait,
Wow, it's
I like
not
that
letting
it's
me
just like
show
a dark
Twitter.
screen with a
is that
crown
crown
on it right now.
actually like near where my junk is? All right, it's
No.
not. Thank God. Thank God, it's
No.
not.
I made absolute
Bernie's
sure
there.
that it wasn't.
Good. I'm glad that it's not.
Bernie's hiding it.
Unless the other producer moved it.
My reign would be short and disappointing. Let me tell you.
thing with Krug is like not just the
Okay.
bullying, but like he looks really slow.
Yeah.
And at his size, you can't be small and slow.
well, and you have to you either have to be really, really smart, really dynamic with the puck. Like it's how Will Butcher had his 15 minutes of fame.
It's not zoomed in.
And Torrey Krug is he's had a really down year with
What?
the Blues this entire season.
Was it you, Evan, or was it Blaze that at some point in the first or second period, Krug like tries to walk along the blue line and then just go, Torrey Krug is not Cale Makar.
That was me, yeah. Yeah, he did the shuffle and then he tried to pass it back, and Belmar was just like, I got this.
Dude, I really liked Belmar.
He was
I
solid.
Thought, I thought he was really
fine.
good.
Yeah.
I thought that on that line,
it
I
is
thought
super
Newhook
zoomed
was
in.
really the only guy that didn't do much of anything.
Dude, I thought Newhook was fine.
I thought he stood out a little bit.
I had no issues with his game.
Yeah.
He barely played, and so it's like, what are you gonna do in 6 minutes? Or I don't know.
I mean, he used the tools that he had, right?
Whatever he had
Like,
in ice time. There was not a lot of it though, and he did
didn't.
not. He was just okay. I would like to see him. I understand situationally,
Sure.
as it like they just failed to build the lead and add to anything. I get them being careful about his ice time, but honestly, you have options in that spot. And playing Newhook 6 minutes, or I honestly I don't.
You're
know how
not getting
long he
value
played, but,
there, yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
it just does not feel like you're gonna get a whole lot out of that. And I'm not gonna say that he and Kadri need to swap spots, but I think that the leash on Kadri has to be much
you didn't
shorter.
get a great game out of Kadri. Honestly, you didn't get a great game out of Donskoy either on the second line. Burakovsky was fine.
I like Donskoy.
I did.
I thought
dude.
Donskoy was
disagree.
I thought he was really good in the neutral zone, transporting pucks.
I
thought that was I think that's a thing that he does really well.
I thought
beyond
he
that-
was terrible in the offensive zone. I thought he was super soft on pucks. And
I didn't
failed
think
to
that
get to
entire line
dangerous
was any
areas.
good in the offensive
and
zone.
that's fair.
But I did not. I like Donskoy. I think Donskoy's got like a skill set, and And I like him when he's going through the neutral zone carrying pucks. He's a big part of why that line is able to get zone entries. And also, how long into the game did they make that switch? Saad with Donskoy.
Yeah.
Because it felt like it happened immediately. They got like one shift with Saad next to Kadri and Burakovsky.
It was
and they were like, no, let's switch this up. And immediately that Jost line took off.
Yeah, and Saad was great on that line.
Oh, yeah. That line kicked ass, save for the one breakaway that they gave up.
How'd you guys feel about Jost tonight?
He was awesome.
Yeah, I thought he played a great game. You
just
didn't show
awesome.
up.
Did everything but score, basically.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And
He was
Nichushkin,
all over
too.
the place.
And I mean, Saad got robbed.
Yeah.
Tyson Jost had multiple scoring chances.
Bar's closing, so
Do you hand those?
All right, let me sign something live on air here.
AJ.
Yeah.
We've got the question asking who was the worst forward overall tonight and who was the best overall?
Well, Landeskog was the best.
Did we do a king of the game?
Worst. I would say it's Kadri.
The worst?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people in the chat were agreeing.
But I just don't. I don't think that loyalty to Kadri can continue deep into the postseason.
I mean, you can continue to play him, but not on the second line.
Well, I mean, like, if you just need to read his game, like, he's gotten the veteran leash. The problem is you in the regular season, you were fine letting him work through his issues. He started to figure it out at the end. You started to feel good. Hey, this is trending in the right direction. If he immediately reverts to the way that he had played for the majority of the last 25 games or so, you have a problem.
Yep.
And you have to recognize, like, Bednar's going to have to shorten up that leash. And he's going to have to be like, okay, we either have to put somebody else on that line, to try and find a spark. Throw a Jost up there. Throw a Comfer up there. Throw a Newhook up there. They've got a couple of different options that they can pick from to try and either light a fire under Kadri's ass or just find some chemistry here. And I think that with Kadri, they just can't continue to give him the veteran benefit of the doubt. Yeah. You're in the postseason now. You're 15 wins from the Cup. Like, this is it. This is go time. The kinks they needed to be worked out. You have to be able to recognize in game, and this is a thing that Bednar does pretty well as a coach. He sees which guys are going and rewards them and changes things up based on that. He's going to have to do that with Kadri. He's given him the benefit of the doubt. I'm not saying bench him. I'm not saying drop his line right away. But if he comes out and has a rough first period, you have to do something.
The same way you play a hot hand, you avoid the cold hand.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Like you have to kind of play to your personnel on some level there.
Yeah.
Because tonight, Jost was essentially their 2C.
Yeah.
That line was dangerous. That line was defensively responsible. It was physical. It did everything that you wanted to see except score. So and you can't let a guy drag the talents of a Donskoy or a Burakovsky down with him if he's struggling. And so I just think that they will at some point have to try something different if it continues.
I like the idea of dropping him down. Like you said, I don't think you bench him. He's a good player. He's struggling right now, right? So, like, drop him down, give somebody that's performing above where they should be performing a chance to be on that second line.
Yeah.
And let Kadri fill that a little bit. I mean, I think that's something like, if you're competitive, you're going to go out there and you're going to earn your spot back.
The magic of hockey is you put Jost on the second period or second line for a period. If it's a shit show, you just change it back. Yeah. It's not hard.
You don't even need a whole period. Sometimes
Yeah.
Sometimes you get 3 shifts into something and you're like, oh, bud, this is not working. And this is the postseason. You don't have time to dick around with this stuff.
DD here asking, what are Kadri's issues? Is he just off, or is it injury, or is it age, or missing
tonight
Toronto?
was puck management.
Yeah.
The holding and the trying to sell the call, I think that whole conversation is debatable. There are some people that said, oh, that's a clear penalty. To me, I thought it would have been a really soft call. I think by the letter of the law, it would have been fine, but I thought it was pretty soft.
Forget the penalty no call and just look at his game as a whole.
Yeah,
and it's not a good night.
And the puck management seemed like it just got worse.
Yeah.
Like that one, the one sequence where there's nobody around him. He's not under any pressure. And he pulls the puck out of the blue line, out of the offensive zone, and forces the offside because he just fumbles it. And it was just like, bro, there's nobody around you. And you just walked out of the zone while you guys like had numbers and were set up, and like this is supposed to be dangerous. The 4-on-2, 4-on-3 rush that he led, that thing stood out to me because I was like, he needs to do something here. He needs to fake something. He needs to draw somebody in, and he didn't do anything. He skated in a straight line, and then he started to slow down as he started to run out of real estate. Everybody like paired off, and like there's sort of a shooting lane there, and like, okay, he shoots.
Yeah.
It gets blocked. It's not a great shot.
Yeah.
It's not a high scoring chance. Nothing happened there.
He's in his own head right now. Like that's the total issue right now, is like now he's trying to make things happen. He's forcing things, trying to make them happen when they're not there, right? And that's not a good place to be as a player.
A super chat from Sasha here. Do we give Kadri a few more games in this series or no? And do the Avs use this series to adjust? I can barely read this for the rest of the playoffs. If we
get Ryan back in
here,
Ryan, can you enlarge this comment?
Full screen this for
there
us?
you go. That's way better. So, do you give Kadri a few more games in this Blues series, or do the Avs use this series to adjust for the rest of the playoffs? Basically.
I mean, I think Kadri had the best shot share numbers on the team tonight, which is interesting.
Which is a testament to what I was saying earlier. I thought his line mates played well.
Yeah. I mean, my problem with that line is I don't like Berkey on the left wing. I like him on the right wing, and that's kind of the way things are.
Dude, I thought Berkey was fine tonight.
I thought he was fine. I just like him more on the other side.
Yeah. I think it forces creativity out of him. And when that happens, you see just a different player.
Yeah. I didn't have as much of a problem with that rush in the first period as you did because Kadri just kind of like took what they gave him. They just kept backing off, and he had a good chance. And we looked at the replay. It looked like Binnington got his glove on it. So I didn't mind him in the first period. It's just as the game wore on, he seemed to get a little bit worse. And it's always been the puck management. Like, he just tries to do too much. Like the toe drag when you're out near the offensive blue line. You just can't be doing this stuff.
You have to be smart. And like seeing Burakovsky in game 56 there, you know, when he gets hacked at the top of the zone and gives up a break, you just have to play smarter with the puck. When you're near your blue line, mistakes are just going to be more punishing. They turn into problems faster, and that's exactly what happened. And I just don't. There was a lot of execution that I thought was his real problem, and it wasn't that I thought he was making a ton of poor decisions. He just wasn't playing well, and so I think that's those are different problems for me. If he's making a lot of really poor decisions and I'm getting frustrated by that, I think there's a much deeper root of that problem than a guy that's just like having an off night.
Yeah,
sure. So
Kadri's a streaky player. This one has been a very big lull in that streak. Like, you want to see him return to what he was doing last year during the playoffs as well. Like, he was on fire last year.
Yeah.
Love to see him return to that form.
Don't brew too much coffee, Paul. We're wrapping up here.
I would just say, honestly, that, you roll with him on the second line in game 2. And then, again, if you get a period into it and it's not going well, you try something else. I really don't want to mess with that Jost, Nichushkin, Saad thing. That thing works really nicely.
Yeah.
And if you can convince Brandon Saad that he's a really good third liner, get him for cheap.
Are we trying this Portland thing again?
No, I'm trying to show something else.
Oh, okay. Well,
I don't know how to.
Only person
you can almost see that MTV Awards.
I don't know.
I want to see what this O'Reilly quote is.
I would like to see it as well, but there, yeah, you can almost kind of. Why is it so zoomed in?
I don't know how to zoom out of this.
Zoom out on the Twitter. Look at that, so slow.
So, just for the record, Lou Korak is full of shit.
Okay, there we go. Now I have to zoom
I
in
can't
on
see.
the
It's
my
tiny.
God.
There was one faint Let's Go Blues right after the national anthem. It got immediately drowned out, and they never tried again.
All right, here's a quote.
O'Reilly and trying to slow down MacKinnon line. It was very tough. They played very well, came at us with a lot of speed, and it was difficult to generate anything and get momentum. Yeah, they played well. I think they were by far the better team tonight.
Well, it's good to know that Ryan O'Reilly was awake during the game. That's real captain material. Is that what the C was for? Is that the C on his chest? Did it stand for conscious?
Yeah.
One captain, a Gordie Howe hat trick plus an assist.
Yeah.
The other captain, 0 points minus 3.
The other captain couldn't get the puck past the center line in the final 5 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
That's why I think the Avs read into what he was talking about earlier.
All right.
What did MacKinnon say? I think they asked him about it. He's like, well, I think we're going to win,
I think
too.
we can beat them, too. Yeah.
Like, what is Ryan O'Reilly supposed to say? Like, oh, they're the better team. We're just going to lay down and die. Like,
I mean,
of course
he's
going to go in there
look,
and say we're going to win.
You can say that it was the look. They're a really good team and blah 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 blah. He could have gone in there and just been like the very hockey answer would have been,
that's boring.
they're a great team and we have a lot of respect for them and
We're going to
they
bring
have
our
some
best.
really
Yada,
they have
yada,
some
yada,
really
yada.
skilled players and we're gonna give them our best shot and hopefully that'll be good enough at the end of the day. And he was like, we think it's a great challenge. We're going to go in there and beat them. And then they got their ass kicked in game 1. They immediately followed up to his big boy comments by shrinking from the moment.
Which I'm going to
You
give
want some more Sean Avery
so
type comments?
I want to give everyone a chance to change their predictions real quick. I think AJ and I picked in 5. I forget what Evan picked.
6.
You picked 6. So Avs in 3 at this point. I mean,
Binnington's playing way too well for that.
can he keep that up?
Well, I mean,
if you're
look,
a goaltender and you play like that and you lose,
the Avs are not putting 50 shots on goal.
Yeah,
Sure.
I mean, if the Avs have an off
Binnington's
night,
not having a 939 with 50 shots on goal again either, though.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see which one of those things breaks first.
Yeah.
Because that'll be look, if they snap Binnington in half in the first period of game 2, they could very well be on their way to sweeps territory.
Yeah.
But I think you're gonna get a much stronger game 2 out of the Blues.
I mean, they had their chances tonight. I'm holding with my 4-2.
I'm not going to change because it doesn't matter anyway.
Yeah. Doesn't matter anyway.
Doesn't matter anyway.
Doesn't matter what I
End the
say.
show.
Dr. Dubs doesn't
Still
care about
ends with the
losses.
Dubs. Yep.
It's true. All right. Final thoughts. Game 1, rest of the series, whatever. Evan, you got anything?
We didn't even talk about Gruby. I thought he was super chill. Like,
yeah.
you knew he was on
Didn't
his
have
game.
to work too hard tonight.
There was a shot in the first period, I think, where they came down a rush and he just, like, stood up, caught it. And
Yeah.
When he's chill
Go
like
to his
that,
right?
When he's chill like that, you know he's fine.
He gave up a couple of rebounds more than I would have
Yeah.
loved, but didn't haunt him in any way, so whatever.
I'm looking for Jost to explode in the second game.
I was hoping Nichushkin would
2,
score
3
because he
points.
talked to us today.
That's
and,
like-
Well, and did you see how
You're
chatty
taking
he
the
was to
fishing
the
line on
Blues?
that, I think.
He was talking
Newhook or
non-stop
what?
to them.
I loved
Maybe.
it. They're like, Val Nichushkin will be speaking through an interpreter, and then you ask him a question, and he just like starts talking English. It's like, what? This guy's been ghosting us for 2 years.
That's a sweet move, by the way.
P.S. That's such a Russian player thing to do.
Kamenev tried it.
I mean,
for
I'd do it
a
too.
long
Oh.
time.
Kamenev thought it was the funniest thing in the world. I would have a conversation at his locker in English, no issues. And I'd be like, okay, can we go on the record? And he would go, I don't speak English. Or he would go, bad English. And he would smile. And I was like,
Come on, bro.
go back to Milwaukee.
Went back to Russia now, didn't he? I don't
Yeah.
know. In any case, Avs are up 1-0 in the series. Life is good, fam. Next game, Wednesday nights. You know we'll be live post-game. same place, same time.
No,
I think?
no,
it's
later.
8:30.
Even later. Good God. All right.
Yeah, did you
Oh,
guys
yeah.
the Game 4 announcement?
Yeah.
Yeah, in the
3
afternoon.
p.m.
Yeah.
I'm on. Yep.
So you can catch us then. You can catch us tomorrow at 1 p.m., our usual off-day time.
Oh, God, what are we gonna talk about?
Yeah, I don't know. Talk about how dope Tampa, Florida is. But
Yeah, there were other games, too.
Oh,
Tonight.
do you see Carolina's? I think they're full capacity.
yeah, their place was packed.
It
dude.
was.
Get him,
slammed.
Landy. Get him, Landy.
Anyway, Allie wants us to end the show, I think. So
Get him, Landy.
God, it's 12:30.
It's late.
Oh, it is.
It's
You
late.
guys have been going for an hour and 15 minutes.
Get him,
That's-
Landy.
that's
Oh,
about right.
Yeah.
There's a fight
They're
again right
replaying
there.
the Landy fight right
That's
now.
where he got his nose broke.
He's just force feeding him his manhood. Look at him at the very end. He's like hanging on.
Yeah. Landy, like
Please,
Landy,
sir. Please stop.
Landy could have given him one more while he was on the ice, but he's not Tom Wilson, so.
It's not Bertuzzo.
You know.
That's who does that.
Anyway,
but
thank you
14
everyone
doesn't
for watching tonight. We appreciate all of you, everyone who came to the bar. If you have the chance, come out for a playoff game. It's dope out here. I can't recommend it enough. But we are done. Love you all. Hope to catch you Tuesday at 1 p.m. Until then, we'll see you next time.